Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, welcome to another edition of 1000 Proof, a marketing happy hour podcast where we give you bite-sized knowledge of marketing in 15 minutes or less.
And bubbles.
And bubbles. Today we're once again joined by Kit Kiefer, the Polymath Marketing University, all that jazz. Today we're going to talk about funnels. I think marketing funnels, sales funnels. And to honor the sales/marketing funnels, we have a Sling ahead of you. So
I don't get it.
Slings and sales.
Okay.
Slash
I was not
marketing.
following that at all.
It's
Okay.
a little bit, sorry to burst your bubble.
I thought the bubbles were our timer. You know, when the bubbles burst, then we're out of time.
wasn't the most perfect one, but yeah, it's a great cocktail. Once again, we're at Daisy Lounge at Stevens Point in the beautiful Guild Designs building. This is a antecedent to the old fashioned. So a Sling. Traditionally when it was made without ice, but it's a little bit of sugar, a little bit of bitters, and a little bit of whiskey.
So like a gin sling, a Singapore sling.
It's a little bit of a different leap. The Singapore Sling is a different cocktail family altogether. But the Sling back in the day, it was literally just sugar, whiskey, and bitters. So for this, we are doing, it's a 0 proof whiskey, like once again by Lyre's, one of my favorite. Local maple syrup and then cherry bark vanilla bitters. So this is what people used to sip right after punch.
Oh,
that's kind of how it was.
After someone got punched?
No, after punch.
Oh, okay.
The Sling is before cocktails really became a thing. So when cocktails started to become a thing in the history of drinks, there was ice and all these fancy garnishes, and so there's always those, older generations who are just disgruntled about new things. So they go to the bars, see all this stuff that they didn't recognize, like, just give me something old fashioned. And so that's how the old fashioned got its name, because it's got the same. So marketing funnels is exactly how this ties in.
So Zach, I don't care. I'm just going to drink this.
Cheers to funnels.
Cheers. Here's to funnels. Here's some funnel in your eye.
Nick and Nora looks like a tornado. Yeah. There we go. Funnels.
It's good.
It tastes like a funnel cake. So.
No. Okay, funnels. Let's talk
about funnels.
All my life I've wanted to talk about funnels. I'm glad I finally have the chance.
Nice.
Yeah, you know that.
I couldn't think of anyone better to talk about funnels with. But seriously, that is one thing that we've noticed when we work with folks, because we're a video production company first, and then we also will work with messaging and strategy. We have found that not a lot of people actually have a strategy or know what a funnel is. Yeah. So, and there's so many ways you can go about a marketing funnel, but I'm curious, Kit.
Well, and it doesn't matter the size of the company. I was talking when we were off camera about a rather large manufacturing company that has a really traditional sales organization. They have salespeople out in the field, they talk to prospects, they qualify prospects, they close the sale, yet they don't have a CRM or any structured marketing funnel. They just go about selling like you would have sold 50, 75 years ago.
Yeah. And why is that not good? Why do we need structure in our marketing and sales?
Well, on one hand, you can say, the money's coming in. Everybody's happy, we're doing well, we're the market leader, so forth, so on. But you may not always be the market leader. You just don't know. Things happen. Your product may fall off in popularity. You may not innovate. You may not keep up with changing tastes and consumer demand or how audiences consume information. And then all of a sudden, you're number 2, number 3, and you're sliding down the ranks. Mm-hmm. So how do we stop that?
Well, with the marketing funnel. And a sales funnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things that was really interesting when we first started this company, and we made videos, because we love storytelling, we love videos. And there's that myth of you just need one video that's going to solve all of your marketing problems. Like, give me something good and all of a sudden we're going to be millionaires, or write me a blog post.
You mean like this podcast?
Right.
Okay.
Let's do a podcast and we're going to be millionaires, whatever, but we quickly realized that unless there's a purpose behind that video and it's serving a certain aspect of the marketing funnel, it's kind of just wasted investment and noise. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And let's even back up here. For people who think funnels are things that you pour motor oil into, let's back up and talk.
Or pre-batch cocktails.
Or, well, you have your libations, I have mine. Let's just kind of tell people, what is a funnel? How does it operate? Why is the analogy of a funnel appropriate?
For me, I think that the top of the funnel really represents any sort of content or marketing that piques curiosity.
Right.
So it's getting awareness out there. It's like,
Yep. Yep.
what, oh, you exist. This is pretty cool. I really want this new bartender shaker stirrer thing, whatever. The next funnel,
You shake a bartender?
you shake a bartender.
Okay.
Shakeabartender.com.
They're holding the thing and then you shake them.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
exactly. But whatever it is, you need to get awareness out of your product or your service
Yep.
first, and that's where like kind of that curiosity and awareness comes. One step down, I feel like, is enlightenment. That's where the person is curious about you. Now they're going to figure out what you're about, why they need this from
Yep.
you, and why you're the person to give it to them.
Yeah.
And then the very bottom is really commitment. This is where you make the sale, you make the ask, they move forward with you.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of keeps going. Like, I think that's more of a triangle too, which upside down is also a funnel. Fun fact. But that's, to me, the most basic, repetitive, like rudimentary form of a funnel. Of course,
Yeah.
there's a handful of different marketing funnels out there. I know Pat Flynn has one that's kind of about building people into super fans, but I think it's like 9 or 10 steps, which is, you don't need to go crazy.
Yeah. So I have a colleague named Greg Michaud who's really great at content marketing. And he boils it down, the various stages of the funnel, to know you, like you, trust you.
Nice.
At the top of the funnel, they're going to find out who you are. What makes you different? What makes you special? Why I should have an affinity with you. And then that like you, do I agree with what you have to say? Is it aligning with my business goals, business needs, me as a person, what have you? And then trust you. Do I feel like you're someone I could partner with and legitimately get what I need, right? And I think for a lot of people, if they just simplify it down to that, it becomes a lot easier to digest, at least from a content marketing standpoint. You've got the whole CRM qualifying prospects kind of funnel over here. But from a content funnel perspective, know you, like you, trust you.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about that, like very top, the widest part of the funnel, get to know you, the awareness, the curiosity. What type of content or type of marketing do you suggest that people do at that level?
So a great way to start is to cast a broad net in terms of what people are searching for kind of around your product. So suppose you sell chainsaws. Not just look at chainsaws, but look at people who cut down trees, or outdoor activities, or yard and garden keywords. What are people searching for in kind of that very, very general sense that might be related to chainsaws, where you could have some kind of you could give your perspective, and you can kind of insinuate yourself into that conversation.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is the best avenue for that at that level? Because, marketing does require some investment. This is definitely the widest net that you're capturing. So, is it blog posts? Is it emails? Is it billboards? Is it chainsaw conventions?
Good chainsaw convention.
Good chainsaw convention.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to go to the bad chainsaw conventions. They get pretty gory. Yeah.
A lot of people in hockey masks.
Yeah. A lot of people in hockey masks. No, what you want to do, again, I would start with kind of that look into search terms and related search terms and what we call long tail keywords, long phrases that people are searching kind of in relationship to your product. And from there, that's going to give you some hints as to what you should focus on with the storytelling, however you choose to do it. Video is great, as long as you keep some scripting behind the video so people can find you via search. Otherwise, content like blogging.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this is also one of those places when you're looking at getting curiosity and awareness, that this is a place that you can kind of do some A/B testing for ads.
Oh yeah.
Social media, I feel like, is also kind of a great place for that, is that front level. If we're doing just short videos or like short branded content, I usually say this is kind of in the awareness level of it. We're casting again that net. You're wanting to see how many leads you can get, or people curious about you.
Well, and when we were off camera, you were throwing around the term thought leadership. And I'm wondering, how thought leadership kind of plays into that, thought leadership. You're the last thing I think about before I go to sleep at night. So that's thought leadership, right? Uh, what does it mean to you?
Really, to me, I see thought leadership is really showing your worth, like why you're the person to like show your knowledge rather
Right.
in this space, your expertise in this space. You are caring, and I
Yeah.
think that's one thing when you're looking to partner with somebody or buy a product from somebody, you want to make sure they know transparently they know what the hell they're doing,
Right.
right? And so the more you put yourself out there as a thought leader that's having an opinion on something
Yeah.
and having the stuff to back it up of why. I think that's the one important thing. We do live in a world, unfortunately, where there's a lot of people who now have a camera and can just say whatever the heck they want because they
Right.
like to hear themselves talk. Well, the one step that people forget is why do you believe this? What are the results that you have
Hmm.
seen that give you that opinion? There's a lot
Hmm.
of just, I don't know, blank regurgitation.
Which would be a great name for a punk band, by the way.
It would.
So I view that as kind of bottom of the funnel. You know, we're talking the
Yep.
funnel before. That's more the trust you, the bottom of the funnel stuff.
That enlightenment stage.
Right. But I think thought leadership as a concept can play at all stages of the
Mhm.
funnel, right? At the know you stage, you've just got to get your name out there as someone who can talk about this in an intelligent way. And number two, you talk about it in an accessible way so people like you and that gets you down. And then trust you, talk about it in an authoritative way.
Mhm. Yeah, I like how you kind of position that. And it's something that I think is, it sounds scarier and harder than it is. But if you have some strategy and intention behind it, I love this idea of making a giant piece of content, let's say about
Mhm.
chainsaws.
Yeah.
So you have, let's say you're going to produce a great big long video campaign, multiple videos
Right.
about chainsaws, why you're the person to do it. You're going to do some educational content as well.
Right.
So you do that for videos. Well, now you can repurpose that into blogs. You
Yep.
can repurpose those into posts. You
Yes.
can cut down the videos into smaller chunks, from 30 seconds that
Yep.
might be a little bit higher up in the funnel, reduce that then down to a really great tagline that can draw attention that's at the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
And so when we're creating content or marketing ideas, like I think thinking about it in a holistic way is one of the most powerful things you can do because then as they go down, it's consistent. There's nothing that's changing. The information is just like, oh yeah, I heard about that from this tagline. I want to learn a little bit more. And
Yeah.
as I go
Yeah.
deeper and deeper and deeper, it's like ah, but it never feels disjointed. It's just a really easy way.
Now I've heard you do videos.
We do videos, yeah.
Okay, so if I'm coming to you and I say I want one video that's going to hit all pieces of the funnel, how do you build that?
Yeah, for us, what we think is the best part for that is a mission film, is what we call it. And this is
Okay.
something that talks about who you are, what you do, the problems that you're solving for your
Yeah.
customers, what success looks like. So we make one big master video,
Okay.
if you will, and then we break that into multiple chunks. And
Okay.
then those multiple chunks based on the content are the smaller videos that then can be deployed through the different phases of the marketing funnel, with that big video kind of being like at the bottom or during the enlightenment stage. So I feel like there's a fluidity still. Like this
Yeah.
is the general direction where all things go, but every business is different, every audience is different. So it bleeds into each other naturally. And I think if you're playing the funnel right, that's a good thing.
Okay, but okay. Suppose I'm a customer and I need a video to close the sale, but I don't know I need a video to close the sale. Do you come to me and say, okay, we're going to take out this piece and you're going to send it to people here. You're going to email it to them here, and this is going to help you close the sale. Do you do that?
We can, or we'll partner with you depending on how granular they want to do. So before we make anything, we definitely want to understand where, like what is the goal of this video and what are you trying to accomplish? Because
Yeah.
that helps us curate what product you actually need
Right.
to do that.
Yeah.
So if you are looking for something more holistic, we would look for an awareness campaign. Or an industry like partnership
Yeah.
or like annually. If you really just need something to close the sales, then we're like, let's do a suite of testimonials because social
Yeah.
proof, that's the best way. Like an impact story, best
Yeah.
way to close a sale.
Well, and we were talking before we came on camera. I realized I've been a professional writer for 50 years, which is pretty mind-blowing. But one of the things that I'm one of the reasons why I'm such a big proponent of video is because it can tell things in so much more powerful ways than I can. But the words still have a place, right? So I want my blog posts, my newsletters, my emails, what have you, to really leverage the power that you're bringing in the video. So the two have to work together.
Absolutely. And I think to kind of go for circle, that's the power of a marketing funnel, because it gives direction and natural flow to the content that you're making. It's giving reason for something to exist and purpose.
And I want to come back to something you said as kind of a wrap up, which is these don't have to be so rigid and structured and formalized. They can be more informal. They can kind of flow. In fact, I think they really should flow in a very natural way. If you're trying to make it too rigid, you know, oh, know you, oh, like you, oh, trust you, it's not going to come off as human and real and impactful.
Yeah, I agree with that. So
I don't think there's much else to say except, you know, let's swing it up right now.
sling it up. Marketing funnels are important, and they're a great way to guide your content.
Absolutely.
Purpose.
All right.
Keep it simple.
Cheers. Keep it simple. Like a sling.
Like a sling.
There you go.
Slings are great cocktails back in the day. Really easy. 3-part. That's why 3 parts overall to the funnel. There's 3 ingredients. Can we swear on this? It's our podcast. We do it.
You know what, Zach? I still don't care. We'll fix it in post. That's the answer to everything, right, Madison?